Hello, everybody. In keeping with the, I don't know, routine, I guess you'd call it. I'm not really in the mood to be doing this. I figure it's the best time to do it. I'll tell you guys about getting hired at the fire department. Um, so I'd been a volunteer for 9 years at this point, and I turned it down several times. I turned it down 5 or 6 times over the years, and it came open. I was like, I'm sick of the water department. I'm never gonna go uh, any higher than I've gone in its position with the water department, and that was made more than plain to me by the I don't know what to call him. You got the head honcho over the whole water department, and you got like the head honcho over the water and the head honcho over the sewer. I was the head honcho over the sewer division, lift stations and machines and all that. Uh, this guy made it plain. The guy over the water made it plain that he was the boss over the water, and if anything, he would go up, but I would never move over. Which I was topped out where I was at, was no big deal. But I was just sick to death of it, sick of the politics, sick of the nitpicking, sick of the uh, oh, I gotta stay in my lane, but he don't. He can come over here and tell me like you're not my boss. Sick of it is what I'm telling you. So I put in to go to the fire department, which I'd been offered it lots and lots of times. But this friend wanted it. I made friends with everybody there. And me and so and so needed it for his kids. It'd be okay. So I just it wasn't right. So I finally did put in for it. I was sick to death of the water department. Um, I was the only volunteer, which at the time they hired from the volunteer pool. I was the only volunteer. I was the only person with any class, any experience, anything that put in for it. Traditionally, traditionally, that would have made me a shoe in. Well, this ain't traditional. So, and I'm just gonna tell it like exactly like it happened. In the meantime, from the last time I put in till this time, the chief had died, so a new chief was appointed. The chief that died was white and did things a certain way. The chief that got put in was black. So the first person he hired was black. No experience, couldn't pass the agility test, flunked out of firefighter one, repeatedly flunked out of firefighter one. Um, no reason at all to be hiring him other than he was black. I'm just calling it like it is. And he couldn't do the job, and they couldn't hide it anymore, so they put his ass out. So now then, in an effort to say, oh, it's really this hard, it's really this hard, he didn't fail because he's just stupid. And rather than a black man hire a black man and watch him fail, I'm going to hire Raj. Raj can't do this either. It's going to be Roger's too old, uh, blah, blah. So he hired me thinking I couldn't do the job. He hired me and made it as hard on me as he possibly could. I was already a city employee. I'd already done my 6 months probation back in 2001. So in 2010, I get put back on probation, which had never, ever, ever been done. I got put back on probation for a year and a half, 18 months, which has never, ever, ever been done. Uh, every single thing you could think of, they put me through trying to force me to quit, force me to quit, force me to quit. So he could look at the mayor and go, "Oh, hey, the black chief. Oh, I didn't, man. Yeah, he couldn't make it either." So it takes the egg off his face. Well, I outlasted him. I'm still there. He's been gone a long, 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 long time. But what happened was because he hired me and the rest of the crew, the rest of the squad didn't like him. He didn't like me, point blank, period, because I wasn't black. And he was more or less forced to hire me to try to make up for it. Well, that backfired. The rest of the crew didn't hire me because he did hire me. So I'm his boy. Uh, Everybody he hired after that, after me, nobody liked, nobody liked, nobody liked. They still don't like me up there. I still don't give two shits. I don't go up there and make friends. I go up there, do my job, and go home. So I'm the first person that Andrew hired that stayed, that made it, that's still a thorn in their side. So that's the story of me getting hired at the water department. When they put you through an agility test, they didn't think I could make the run. Um, at the time, I was 36 years old, but I'd already had the cutoff is 35. They tried to, oh no, the cutoff is 35. No, you have to take 5 years off because I've got 5 years experience as a volunteer. I've been in the pension. I'm already in the. Oh well. Oh well. Yeah. Okay. I got in a pension when I was 27 years old, which is fine. Oh well, he can't make the run. I made the run. It's a mile and a half run. I did it at 36 years old, 11 minutes and 9 seconds. Um, the reason I didn't get hired, they hired the other guy, the black guy, on paper. The reason they hired him was I stepped off a beam. You got to walk a 20-foot beam, a 2x4, 2-inch beam, 20 feet, carrying two-inch hoses, whatever. Go down to the end, step off, turn around, get back on, and walk back without losing your balance. Uh, the guy that did hire fell off halfway down, got back on, went to the end, stepped off, turned around, stepped on, stepped right back off, stepped right back on, went a third of the way down, fell off again, got back on, and finished it. And it was fine. He got hired. I went to the end, stepped off, turned around, got back on, and walked back. Oh, you can't step off. You can't step off. What? Man, you get off the beam. So you got to go to the end, spin around on one foot, and walk back. Yeah, nope. That's never been a thing. They argued about that, argued about that. Oh, well, for that reason, we can't hire Raj. The other guy actually fell off, stepped off, fell off, and still got hired. 100%. 100% because he was black. 100%. Waited for him to get out of college, waited for him to get moved down here, kept the position open, did everything they could do, moved the paperwork around, cheated in every way to get him hired, and he was too damn stupid to pass firefighter one. Gave him 3 opportunities, gave him the fucking answers to the test to study. Too stupid. That's just who he is. That has nothing to do with nothing other than just who he is. He failed out of college. He was an athlete that went to college, and that's point blank period. That's all there is to it. Stupid. Um, Everybody's opening doors, holding doors for him. He didn't belong. He didn't make it. That's all there is to it. Now then, with that in mind, I'll tell you a story that really is near and dear to my heart. Uh, I told you guys, if I haven't told you guys, I got arrested and went to jail August 13th, 1992. I got out of jail August 22nd, 1992. And the last time I did drugs was August 23rd, 1992. If I didn't tell you that, I'll get to that. In the meantime, you guys know I married an older woman. I was 17, she was 35. We got together. If I didn't tell you that, I'll tell you that later. Um, but because she was 35, she was way closer to my dad's age than she was mine, and she lived right across the street from us. And she was, attractive for an older woman. And my dad was single because Linda had left a long time before. And I'm just being a 17-year-old kid, Hell, I've got a girlfriend. Um, my dad didn't like the fact that I was seeing her. He called it baby raper and whatever, whatever. But he was trying to get with her. It's a fucked up story. I've had a fucked up life. I told you guys that. So my dad had a friend, Junior. I'll call him Uncle Junior. Just so him and his wife moved down here with their kids. One of the kids' names was Shauna. Shauna was my age. We both 17. She was attractive. She was attracted to me. They all stayed in the same house, so it wasn't hard, you know what I mean, to slip around. They didn't care. They Anything to get me away from Sandy was fine. As long as I was seeing Shauna and not seeing Sandy, everything was fine. They didn't care. In my dad's eyes, that opened her back up for him. She didn't want him. She wanted me. A grown ass woman wanted me, which that is what it is. I'm not an interesting person. I'm a person who's done interesting things. Um, so I got in trouble. Shauna was still here. I'm still seeing Sandy, still seeing Shauna. I got in trouble, went to jail, got out, got put on probation. I don't know why they decided to move down here and try to start back over from Amarillo, but they did. And then they decided, hey, this ain't working. So they moved back to Amarillo. right after they moved back to Amarillo in probably September, which of course split me and Shauna up. And I don't know how I made it back through all that with Sandy. I just like, hey, I have to do this to keep my dad off my ass about you and blah blah. We'll just, it is what it is. Just I hate that saying. I hate that saying. It is what it is. I hate it, but in this case, there was nothing I could do to stop that situation being what it was. It's just that's just how shit was. So I'm thinking, I got to do. You can't just immediately. Oh, I want to move to Texas. You're on probation. You're not going anywhere. If you do good for 6 months, then they might, if you have a job, if you have a place to stay, they might say, you've not screwed up, you're not flunked any drug tests, you ain't causing more trouble, you're doing anything good for 6 months after you get put on probation, especially if you do rehab for drugs, which I did. Another long story. Somebody said something. Um, then we can transfer your paperwork and let you finish out your probation in Texas, Amarillo, 13 hours away. Well, maybe 12. It depends on how you drive it. So I told her, hey, look, I don't want to be here. I don't want to keep doing this shit. I gotta have a fresh start. I gotta do something. Um, August, September. I think I got sentenced in October. I said, after I get sentenced to 2 years probation, I will be up there. If you can wait, absolutely, yeah, absolutely. I'll wait. I'll wait. I'll wait. That was the plan. I told my probation officer. Uh, I played no contest. Got 2 years deferred. Didn't snitch on nobody. That's another long story. That's why I'm glad I'm doing these videos. I've got so much guys. I've got so much to tell you guys that my kids don't know. They'll look back on this one day and be like, "Damn, they just don't know." I don't tell them. Um, yeah, yeah. I'll wait. I'll wait. I'll wait. I'll wait. Got sentenced in October. I think I got sentenced October 11th or something. I don't know why that. I think the 11th sticks out in my mind. 2 years. 92. I'll be off probation at least by early 95. No matter what. No matter what. If I don't screw it up. All right. Cool. Um, I knew I had to go to rehab. I chose to go to rehab my own. I went to rehab the first part of December, and I think I called. She figured out where I was at. I think is how it went, and I got a call in December. Now I've not seen her since September, October, November. I get a call in December. Not seen her since September. Keep that in mind. Uh, I don't know if my family called any at some point. I'm in rehab, and I called her, and I was like, "Hey, Shauna." I called Shauna. I was, "Hey, what's going on?" I'm in Miami, Oklahoma, which is in the extreme northeast corner up by Kansas and Missouri and North Arkansas. I'm from southeast Oklahoma, which is down here by Texas and Arkansas. She went back to the Texas Panhandle, Amarillo, which is way northwest Texas. I told you all that, so it makes sense. Where I was at, where she was at, where I'm from. Um, so I call her. I'm getting off track. I call her. I said, "Hey, what's going on?" She said, "I'm pregnant." I said, "Cool, you know." Is it mine? She said, "It is." So I'm 18 on probation and rehab, and I got a kid on the way with a woman I haven't seen since September. I'm all like, wow, a rush of emotions. I'm like, I got to get my shit together. I've got to get my shit straight. I've got to do it. I said, cool. How far along are you? Couple months, probably 7 or 8 weeks. I said, all right, let me get through this shit. It was right before Christmas. I said, let me get through this shit. And if you're doing math in your head, you're way ahead of where I was. So I got off the phone, called my dad, told him everything. Yep. Um, got a phone, called Sandy, told her what was going on. She wasn't happy. She said, "How far along is she?" I said, "She says 8 weeks, 7 or 8 weeks." She said, "How long?" 8 weeks, 2 months. When's the last time you seen her? First part of September. September to October, October to November, November to December, plus 2 weeks. September to October is 30 days. October to November is 30 days. October or November, December is 30 days. Plus, let's say 10 days. I'm looking at 100 days. How far along is she? 8 weeks, couple months. Oh. Oh. So I call Shauna back. I'm like, "Hey." She's like, "Hey." I said, "The math ain't mathing." She said, "I know. I'm so sorry. I was hoping you'd just be okay with it." What? What? Hoping I'd be okay. Ah, needless to say, I wasn't. And I got out of rehab and I wound up marrying Sandy. Wound up adopting one of my older kids. One of them I did adopt legally. One of them I didn't because she still had a relationship with her dad. As fucked up as it was, it was a relationship. Uh, at the time, her youngest one. Now my oldest one. Oh, now one. Anyway, yeah, legally adopted her. So that's kind of how that went. It's hit and miss. There's a bunch of stories wrapped up in there that I can take 4 days telling you guys, but that's not what this channel is about. This is about stuff that I'll never forget. And it's not always good. It's not always bad. It's not always going to be one or the other. It's not always going to be the fire department. It's not always going to be personal. I'm trying to get it all out. Thank you guys for watching. Love you to death.